The first time she whispered, "She could kill you," it wasn't a threat. It was a warning. And by the time the truth surfaced, for Navy SEAL colonels would end a man's career in less time than it takes to snap a salute. This is not a story about weakness. It's a story about power, quiet, disciplined, underestimated power, and what happens when arrogance mistakes silence for fear. Recruit Training Command, Great Lakes. Winter. The wind cut through bone and confidence alike. Rows of recruits stood frozen in formation, boots aligned, eyes forward, breaths shallow. Among them was recruit Elena Ward, 5'6", lean, unremarkable at first glance. No tattoos. No bravado. No visible defiance. Just another name sewn into a uniform that swallowed her individuality. Drill Instructor Marcus Hale paced like a predator who had already chosen his prey. Hale had a reputation. He was loud, decorated, untouchable, or so he believed. Years of unchecked authority had calcified into cruelty. He didn't just break recruits down, he enjoyed it. Especially when they didn't fight back. His eyes stopped on Ward. "You," he barked. "Step out." She obeyed instantly. He circled her, voice low now, intimate in its menace. "You think you belong here?" Ward stared straight ahead. "Yes, sir." That calm irritated him. He leaned closer. "You look fragile. Like someone I could snap in half." A few recruits flinched. Ward didn't. That was his mistake. What Hale didn't know, what no one in that freezing formation knew, was that Elena Ward had already survived worse than him. She'd grown up learning control instead of fear, discipline instead of rage. Her mother had been a military intelligence officer. Her father, a combat medic who taught her that restraint saves lives. And before she ever wore this uniform, Ward had trained in rooms where mistakes didn't earn push-ups, they earned blood. Hale shoved her shoulder. That crossed the line. There was a stillness then. The kind that happens before a storm or a decision you can't take back. A senior chief watching from a distance muttered under his breath, "He doesn't know." Another replied quietly, "Yeah. She could kill him." The assault report landed on the wrong desk. Or the right one. What Hale thought would be buried as corrective discipline triggered a silent chain reaction. Surveillance footage. Medical evaluations. Background checks. Four Navy SEAL colonels reviewed the file together in a secure room. They didn't raise their voices. They didn't argue. They watched. They saw Hale's hands linger too long. They heard the tone shift from command to contempt. They noticed Ward's posture, controlled, restrained, professional, while every instinct screamed to defend herself. One colonel finally spoke. "She showed more discipline than he ever did." Another nodded. "If she'd reacted, he'd be in a hospital. Or worse." They called Ward in. She stood before them exactly as she had on the line. Calm. Grounded. "Why didn't you fight back?" one asked. "Because I didn't need to," she replied. "And because the uniform matters more than my ego." That answer ended Hale's career. 4 minutes. That's how long it took. By sunset, his authority was stripped. By morning, his name was gone from the building. No ceremony. No second chance. Ward returned to training. No applause. No special treatment. Just respect earned the hardest way. Years later, when recruits would ask about the instructor who vanished, someone would always say the same thing. He forgot what real strength looks like. And Ward? She graduated. Led. Served. Not because she could kill. But because she chose not to. That is the difference between power and greatness.